Great. So, Yoel, welcome to our podcast, Network Yourself to Success. Thank you for joining.
Awesome. Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to helping people network themselves to success. It's a good name for a podcast. I think it's properly named.
Thanks. Just popped out in my head when I started thinking about what to do. So, how are you these days? Where are you sitting? Where are you located?
See, I'm sitting on a couch, an outdoor couch, which everyone can see, but I'm located in Pardes Chana in Israel between Tel Aviv and Haifa. And we rent a big office next door to my house, and that's where I'm working out of now still.
Okay.
Most employees are working from home given the pandemic, but we're great, thankfully.
Great. So I invited you because you are the best expert I know on LinkedIn, how to leverage LinkedIn. Um,
hmm
I think it's extremely important. It's one of the most important platforms for networking professionally.
hmm
Why don't you give a small introduction about Vadi Digital, what you do, how you got to where you are, and what do you offer in general?
Yeah, sure. I mean, so Wadi Digital, we're a digital marketing for technology agencies. We do a lot of LinkedIn. We're a LinkedIn first agency. We understand for B2B companies, LinkedIn is absolutely imperative. And our clients are mostly security and technology companies.
Okay, great. And how do you see like as what does networking mean to you when you think about the word networking? Of course, it's both offline and online. How what does it mean for you as a concept? How do you?
Networking, I believe, for the proper definition, is I think most people think of networking as taking. I think I see networking as giving.
Yeah.
In order to, right, if you're trying to build a relationship with someone, and you're, by definition, I think the one thing that separates networking and then relationship building, it's specifically related to business, personal development, and career. That's the main focus. So, I mean, but just like any other relationship, you have to give value, you have to help you to nurture and build any kind of relationship that you want, whether it's professional or otherwise. You need to be a giver. I think many people see networking as like, how can I find an opportunity out of speaking to him or her? What can I take out of him? Or right, how can I schedule some of her time for me to tell her about my product? And that's not networking. That's not, I think, giving. How can I help you? What can I give you? I think that's proper networking, because at the end of the day, networking is actually building relationships and providing value. And in order to do that, you have to be a giver, not a taker.
Okay, I completely agree, and I also see that you've been doing that a lot. You do a lot of tutorials. You do a lot of live LinkedIn Live. You use LinkedIn Live a lot. I see. Um,
Yeah, once a week.
And what is how do you see people are networking on LinkedIn, and what do you see as that people doing wrong, and what do you see as the opportunities for? Because these days, we are mostly logged in. We can't go out so much and do the offline. So
hmm Well, I think you got to treat LinkedIn just like you do networking if you go to in real life. I mean, first of all, is if we're on LinkedIn, let's say to help each other professionally. So I think if you go to a networking event, so I think going up and messaging a stranger, just like going up to a stranger, is absolutely fine, and I would even encourage it. But you have to do it in a way that's relevant. You don't go up and talk about things that aren't relevant to you or them, or be random. You don't go and give and say, "Oh, look what I have, look what I can do for you." Just like in real life, like I said, networking is about giving. Is you can connect with people and send them personal messages or posts and whatnot, and see how you can provide value. And so I really think LinkedIn is no different, but the good news is you don't actually have to physically travel to do any networking on LinkedIn. Of course, the relationship that you build won't be as good as in person or as on video or even on the phone. But that being said, it's still a good starting point for networking. I do recommend people continue to be givers and giving to other people. And so I don't think you should treat it any differently. You should think of your post as, let's say, the public space in a networking room. You could be communicating with a couple of people, but assume everyone else can hear you, see you, and come up and join the conversation. And then the private messages when you step aside with someone to speak one-on-one. I see it. It's just like a networking event. And for those that are introverts, it's a little more difficult to go up physically and speak to a stranger. LinkedIn provides you that opportunity. I don't have that problem going up to people, as people probably know, based on my personality. So I mean, it's actually easier for me to approach a stranger in person than it is probably to message them on LinkedIn. And I think a reason is because few people are approached in person by strangers. I have a networking event to help them. But on LinkedIn, everyone's doing, a lot of people are doing outreach and spam and all that. You can't really, it's harder to spam someone in person because you can't do it on scale than you could on LinkedIn. So I think those people were watered down and put a bad taste in the mouth for the people that want to help people. I don't have that opportunity to help people as much because people are watering it down with spam. But so I mean that means I need to create greater value for the general public, meaning in my posts, and then when I message them privately, I have a better starting point, and they know I'm a giver. I'm not a taker. I'm a content producer, not a spammer.
Okay, so what is your usual tactic or your usual strategy? Is that basically, first of all, you create a lot of content and then you refer to that content when you contact someone? See, I just recently did. How do you intersect those two things? How do you leverage those two things?
Well, for me personally, I like to have a starting point with the person, so it's important to build brands. Like, okay, there are just some basic rules that I want to set up that for some reason they're very hard for people to follow. If someone comments on any of your posts, you must reply. Liking their comment isn't enough. If someone comments on a post and they add some insights or whatever, that's 100% an opportunity to send them a private message, to take a private message.
Okay.
There's obviously you're already speaking in the public sphere. You can take it to private sphere, and then you can do it and say whatever you want. So I mean, putting out value first, and then people wanting to add to that value, or they may disagree with you, or say something differently. That's where the conversation happens, and now you build yourself as I'm not a spammer. So now you can go message them privately, and they'll communicate with you privately. So I mean, first give by giving value in your posts. People will then want to contribute, and then you can add accordingly.
Then you leverage that for starting a conversation, and that's a great strategy. So, so how do you when you basically the way you create posts? There's also an option on LinkedIn, to create basically a blog. That's the new thing, right?
It's not that new. I mean, like they're called LinkedIn articles. I know a lot of people that use them very well. That is not my preferred method.
Okay.
That's just me. My personality. I think of something on top of my head. I can write up a post. It's shorter. It's totally different than the articles. It's an article. There's more thought involved and research, and you put in links and resources, bibliography, whatever. That takes too long for me. I'm way too busy. If I think of the opportunity to provide value, I add it to I have a notepad, I have a notebook of all the posts I want to do. I probably have 20 or 30 posts that are pending. And then I post them. I post once a morning and sometimes in the afternoon too. I try not to overwhelm people.
Okay, and I don't know if this is recently, but I recently noticed that video has become much more apparent on LinkedIn. I know that's it's kind of like it looks a little bit like the way people use Facebook just in a professional sense. Jeff Paul is doing his almost daily, and I see a lot of people using it much more now. Is that something? How do you see that development has been happening? Is that something I just noticed recently, or is it something that has been going on for a while?
Well, it's been going on for a while, but it's not that the platform's changed, that people are starting to use the platform differently, which I think is a good thing. People are starting to treat LinkedIn more like Facebook, and I think that's good. I mean, documenting, showing video, showing your personality. I mean, I need to do that more, but that means I have to brush my hair, which you could tell I didn't do today.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, I'm sitting outside, and it's 87 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm sweating, and I'll go inside after this interview. But it's video is it's a great way for people to get an idea of your personality. I have a friend, after every new connection request, he sends him a personal video message. I know few people do this. Hey, my name's Yoel. Nice to meet you. I do this and that. Tell me if there's anything I can help you with. If you have any questions, I would love to. Looking forward to building a relationship or something. I don't know, personalize it. And 15-second like that, private message, I know is valuable. I used to do it. I don't have the time to do that anymore. But that is one way you can start. If you have the time and you're looking to do that, build relationships or find employment, that's how I would do it.
You would send video messages, like as a message? I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. I received one recently. I only received one in the whole time I've been using LinkedIn. I only received one video message. It was a little bit spammy, so I had a bad connotation about it. But I never heard about using it.
Right. So you got to do it right. You got to say nice. Some people do it really well. One guy who's this, I don't remember what company he's in the States. He was a salesman at a company, and his messaging was so good in the way how he worked and what he did, but wanting to add value to me. It was so good. I replied, I was like, you know how to send messages just perfectly. You could tell he must be he's a salesman. He was very skilled. He was giving value. He was very, very good. It was very me-centered. It was very nice. It was very polite. It wasn't any pushing. There was no ask involved, which is the most important thing, is don't ask anything of them. Only you can offer, but don't do any asking. So yeah, I mean, sometimes it's done very well. Sometimes it's not. Be careful, in my opinion, if it's spammy. It can hurt your reputation if you do it too much and too wide.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a person, he requested a friendship, and then I accepted, and then afterwards he sent me a video, "You are amazing," or something like that, which is, and then I think
Oh wait, did he say your name? Did he put your name in the video? Did you say, "Hey
no, no,
Johnny"?
no, no, I did not.
So okay, so yeah, well that's spam because it's
Right,
everyone. I mean, I'm talking about personalized messages. Or at least it's
right.
personalized by saying, "Hey Johnny," you know what I mean, and that's how you personalize it. Then they know you made that video for them. You took 20 seconds, 30 seconds of your day to specifically approach them and say, "Looking forward to connecting," and then also you're probably more likely to get a higher engagement rate on your posts because now that you guys have a better connection than any one of the 99.9% of their other connections
Yeah,
on the platform.
that's amazing. So basically, he did some. So basically, I mean, in that sense that you say, the fundamentals are still the same about how to network, how to create relations. You do some research a little bit before of how you can create value for that person. What do you think you could create value? I'm looking a little bit about what he's interested,
Yeah,
what he's been doing.
yes, yes, no. I mean, you don't have to do research.
Oh, like 5 minutes,
You can
research of him.
just say, "I'm looking for it." I mean, but I don't think people have time for that. For amount of like, let's say you get 10 new connections a day, 5 minutes times 10, that's 50 minutes. It's like an hour. No
Yeah,
one's got time for that for a private message that you don't have a starting point. I think it's a waste of time.
yeah, yeah,
But if you're applying for a job and through LinkedIn, which you should do if you're applying for a job, and you know who the decision maker is, you should then reach out to them privately, send them a message saying, this, I've applied for many jobs, but this one's specifically right for me because of this, 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 and this. I'd really appreciate if you bring me in for an interview. What you don't get to see on my resume is my personality, my persistence, you know what I mean, this, this, and this, and this. And I would really appreciate if you would consider me for an interview, which is the only reason you have a resume, just to get the interview. Once you get the interview, the resume is useless, right? Now you're selling yourself, your personality, they ask you questions. So that's one way that you can do it. That would be worth spending 5 minutes of research, especially if you're looking for employment.
yeah, yeah. So that's when you're basically reaching out a little bit cold. You could say he's not responding. He didn't make a comment on your post. So you're
Well, I'm talking if you're looking for a job. If you applied for a job on LinkedIn
yeah, yeah,
and this person's the only person in HR, the hiring manager,
yeah,
you would
exactly.
message this person, say, "I applied for this job as a marketing manager or for whatever, da, 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 and I really think that, I really like the company, see what you guys done on this, do your research, right? Especially your posts on this and that, or reference the company and say, I really think that my personality, my culture would be great, and my skills, I really think it'd be a good fit. I'd really appreciate an interview." So I do think for a job function, yeah. But other than that, I think doing cold outreach with no starting point, unless you're just saying like "great to connect" or things like that, you know what I mean. You need to have a starting point.
Mm,
Usually, if on LinkedIn, if not, it's spam. Like I said, if you're at a network event, you can go up to someone that's different.
yeah,
But on LinkedIn, you can't just send a private message, even if you're connected. It's not the same.
yeah. No, I agree. That's great. So another reason for what you just said with the job search is that you said is that it's a hiring manager. So and the CV is only to get to the hiring manager. So basically, the hiring manager, he might not see your CV. There might be that your CV was screened off by the HR coordinator, and the fact that you're basically going around that and going straight to the guy who is making the shots in that sense.
Right.
So
I would do one. I would do one better. I would find a mutual connection and ask them to do that
making
for you on your behalf.
yeah,
Because now you have a third person that even if they don't know them, say, and I've done this for people, they've asked me, and I said, "Hey, I know we're connected, but we don't know each other personally. But this person, I paste their link, apply for this position, and I can vouch for their character and this and that, and I recommend you bring them in for an interview." I've done that many times for people that have asked me,
amazing.
and I extend that to your audience also if they're interested. You know what I mean? If I feel comfortable or right with the person, then I'll have, feel free to ask. And if I think it's right, then I will do. Then I will take the 5 minutes to do that.
Okay, amazing. So I just want to go a little bit back to to how you create a social proof or a brand online. Even if you're not a company, if you're personal, if you're professional, and you want to advance or you're a job seeker, what do you suggest to do? You suggest, of course, creating valuable content. Try to market yourself as a thought leader or expert on whatever profession you are. You have any other tips?
Give value, man. It all goes down to give value. Given value. I mean, just document. I was authorizing some accounts and I thought of, oh, this is interesting. I got an insight. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know. I don't know if data yet, but I wrote it down. And then I'll make a post out of it later. I'll get back to it in a week or two because I have a running list. And if it becomes relevant, then I'll make a mark next to it and I'll post about it and I'll give value. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Cool. So what do you see about, I don't know if you see any difference between the way Israelis behave on LinkedIn and how this internationally, is there any difference? Is there anything that specifically culture Israeli way of approaching, of responding, or is it?
Israelis are the worst on LinkedIn. They're not the worst, but let's say they're the worst in the OECD. Let's put it that way. Yeah, they don't understand. They're very much to Israelis' credit, one of the reasons why Israelis are successful and Israel's successful in the tech scene is that the good old chutzpah, they push themselves in and so on, and is great strength, and it's very good. But you need to be able to channel that properly and have a little bit of restraint when you do that on LinkedIn or when you're speaking to non-Israelis. Let's put it that way. They're too pushy. They're too about themselves. They think their product is the best, and they think everyone wants to know and see it and everything. So that's their great. I think that's the great mistake that they're making.
Yeah. Okay. But on the other side, it also plays to your advantage, right? Because it's less. You can approach them more easily, right? You can approach Israeli, even though there's still the rules about trying to find as many common connections that you can, but
right.
Still, it's a little bit more open, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, the platform's more open, and Israelis are far more open. I mean, and by the way, Israelis, to their credit, are also more open to helping anything, especially to other Israelis, which I think is awesome and great. But what they need to understand is other people aren't as giving and taking and communicating, how can I help you or not, whatever, than other people are. Other people, Americans, are more like, why are you messaging me? I don't know you. Even if we're connected on LinkedIn. You know what I mean? It's like, why message me? Like, this isn't relevant. Like, we never talked about this. No one told me to, no one connected us, even though we're connected on the platform. That doesn't mean you get to come up and speak to me. There is that coldness, but they shouldn't be confused with cold, with they're just like, everyone's busy with their stuff. They don't, the thing is, the people you usually reach out to, the decision makers, influencers, they have a million other people reaching out to them.
Exactly.
So as legit as you are, it's still spam. So I get 3-4 emails a day for people from the third world about link building, selling links. And by the way, I'm sure many of them are legit and they're good. But I get so many of them that I don't even read them. Just delete, spam, whatever. I mean, it's spam because no one has to reach out to me. Email. We're not connected on LinkedIn. They just email me. I don't know who these people are. So even if your thing's legit, but there's some people that get so many messages. You know what I mean? That they're not interested. That they've already cut you and screened you off. So and it's just the basic marketing funnel. First, give value, give some blogs, then you can get a white paper that they would download and give over your information. Okay. If not, what do I, so I'm, or get a demo or they'll speak to you. So, you kind of got to warm them up in order to be able to make a conversation. I think it's human nature. And I think Israelis' nature is different than much of the rest of the Western world's human nature, to be honest with you. But both to our credit and to our detriment. It's got two sides to it. It's got advantages and disadvantages.
What are the cool? Do you know any? What are the cool LinkedIn groups here in Israel that you find very helpful for professionals for helping?
No, I think LinkedIn groups are underused and underutilized. The UI isn't the same. You probably get more out of Facebook groups. I don't really spend much time there. But if anyone has any questions about LinkedIn, they can message me privately, say they know, they saw me from the podcast. I'll help them, and anything, any questions about how to improve their profile or anything, I'm happy to do that for them.
Okay, you have some common sense 5 rules, common rules for your profile, optimizing it. Is there
Yeah, sure. I'll give a few. I'll give a bunch real fast at the top of my head. One, make sure your profile, your face is looking straight and centered, because that is your brand, whether you like it or not. The face God gave you. The only part that you can actually customize is actually your banner, and it takes up the most real estate on your profile. So make sure you customize it, personalize it, put your logo on there, what you do, maybe hashtags you following. If you want to say you speak from authority, you're a speaker, have you speaking. If you're an engineer, technician, have a picture of you do it, building things, you know what I mean, in your team. If you're a people person, so give off that story in the image. Make sure your about page is really detailed. Your job title, your headline is the most important part. When you engage with other people, there are four things that they see when you comment in other people's posts and people see in their newsfeed. They see your picture, your name, your connection to them, first, second, third connection, and your job title. Your job title is your point of authority, so go as specific as possible. I'm a LinkedIn expert and LinkedIn ads expert, so that's my job title. So when I comment on LinkedIn, it says LinkedIn ads obsessed or whatever, LinkedIn local host or whatever. So because of that, I can talk about LinkedIn. That's more than if my job title was just B2B marketer, is too generic, right? Or founder of Wadi Digital, for example. Your about page, make sure it's in the first person. Add some of your best posts and videos of you to your featured section. Note that your skills, do look at them. Note only your top 3 skills are visible before you have to do show more. So make sure you reorganize them and make sure you get at least a dozen endorsements for each of them. Feel free to reach out to people, ask them to give you endorsements. For your recommendations that she was received, make sure your balance isn't off more than 60% to 40% in one direction or the other of given and received. Keep in mind your last 2 are the only ones shown. Make sure that they're most recent, so try to get a new recommendation every 2 months. So therefore it doesn't look like, wow, your last recommendation was in 2018 and before that was 2014. It looks like you're not updating, no one's recommending you, or you're not recommending other people. So make sure you're regularly giving and receiving, at least every few months, a new recommendation. I mean, those are some main things. So as people scroll through your profile, these are the main things you should focus about.
Amazing. Well, that was a good roundup. A lot of
Yeah, sure.
nuggets there. It's good that you can rewind and hear everything again. Good gold nuggets. What about when you do the post? How do you make it visible? Do you use hashtags when we just do your post, or how do you get it? I mean, right now you have a large audience because this is your profession. But what about the normal random guy, and you want to get it beyond his friends, right?
Well, I mean, hashtags are good. You should add them to the end to make sure they're relevant. You should not be shy in using hashtags. Don't put them in the middle, the top of the post. This is my personal opinion. Put them at the end. At the end of the day, we're writing posts because we want people to see it. So there's relevant hashtags that's relevant to your post and your audience. Make sure you're using them. You shouldn't shy away from them, and you're not limited to them. So don't limit them as long as they're relevant. That's one. I mean, the other way, and then build an audience. I mean, comment on other people's, and they're more likely to probably see your post in their feed. So as you engage with others and you give, they'll start to see more of your stuff and they'll start to engage. And as more people like and comment, the algorithm will feed that more people will like and comment and see it in your feed. And also spend some time once a week to kind of try to send out 20, 30 connections to slowly grow your network. Because when you network and connect with someone, you're actually growing your audience. There are only 2 platforms in the world where you actually connect with someone and you're both following each other. The 2 are Facebook and LinkedIn. Everything else like Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, you can only follow someone. Doesn't mean they're following you back. When you connect on Facebook, you're both friends and you're both following each other. On LinkedIn, you're both following each other. But on Facebook, people only connect with you if you actually know them personally. On LinkedIn, you might not know them personally, but if you send a personalized message, but less in your same geographical area, you're in the same industry and you're the same job function, I think 99% of the time people will accept your request, and then that means they're now following your content. So continue to connect with people that are relevant to your network and put it out. Content that's related to them, and you're more likely to show up in their newsfeed. That means now they're following you, and you'll get more engagement.
Amazing. That's also called nuggets. What I was thinking about, so basically what you say is that engagement is in like Twitter. You follow people, they follow you back.
No, on Twitter they don't. No. That's not what I'm saying. The opposite.
Right.
You follow someone on Twitter, that does not mean they're following you.
No, but they see that you are following them, and then
right. But that's different though. They're not see. If I followed you, we're not connected on Twitter. Okay, I followed you on Twitter. Now I tweeted. You're not seeing my tweet because that doesn't mean you're following me.
Sure.
And if you're a big brand, and if you're a bigger name, you get a lot of followers. You don't have the time to weed through who am I going to follow back. You might not have that time, right? So then they're not going to follow you. But on LinkedIn, if you send a connection request that's relevant, maybe with a message or not, I mean, if you have enough in common, you don't really need to. If they see immediately, you're doing the same thing in the same country for a similar company, I mean, you don't need a message, in my opinion. Or if they're engaging right with your posts, I mean, you're connecting, they accept your connection request, then you're both following each other immediately.
Okay.
So next time you immediately make a post, there's a chance
See
they can see it in their feed.
in the feed. Amazing. So that's about how to create visibility. What about you have any stories of how people leverage LinkedIn for job search or took advantage of the platform?
Yeah, I mean, like I stated earlier, I mean, one of the most important things that you can do is apply for jobs and then find someone who's the decision maker, reach out to them, or have someone else reach out to them and say that you applied. That's how you can leverage LinkedIn, because you can map out LinkedIn. If you understand how enterprises and companies are mapped out, you're able to know who the decision makers are. I mean, obviously this is very important for advertising, but if you're looking for employment, this is also because there are also decision makers involved in a hiring process. So yeah, like I stated earlier, the best thing to do is apply both on the website and on LinkedIn, and then message them, or even better, get a third party that you're both connected with, message them saying that you applied both through this and this, and this is why you're worthwhile to bring for an interview. I wouldn't say they're worthwhile to hire. I think it's a little too pushy. They don't know you, and you don't know the job title enough, like what they're looking for, but you say that you're a good fit, that you're worthwhile to bring for an interview. Don't go for too strong of an ask.
When is it worthwhile to do premium?
If you're looking for employment, I think in general, I mean, if you're using LinkedIn professionally, if you're doing research on companies, if you need insights or you're doing a lot of search, then you need it. If you're in biz dev or you're in recruitment or you're looking for employment, like actively, then you should be using premium.
And what is it?
If
What
not,
would
then
as a job seeker, for instance, what would it give you?
you get much better searches. I mean, I haven't used the job seeker one ever, to be honest, but I know your search capability is much greater. You can save leads and save jobs as leads and kind of basically make a pipeline of things that you've applied for. And you have more visibility into those that are hiring into jobs out there.
Okay.
And by the way, make sure, a real quick note for those looking for jobs, in your profile, you can mark that you're looking for employment.
Yeah.
And then, so then recruiters that are looking to hire, or they'll be able to see that.
You go into settings and you do that.
Mm-hmm. Correct. And if you're getting a lot of, you're being reached out by HR and you're not looking for employment, you probably still have it on. Make sure you go and you remove it so you stop getting spammed by HR.
Yeah. And great. What I was thinking about, how do you see the future of LinkedIn then going? Where do you see the platform going in this sense?
It's going to look like Facebook. I see now when you upload pictures, you can see that you can start tagging your pictures even though there's nowhere that they go. So I've been uploading and tagging my pictures. So let's say we'll take a picture of us right now and upload it to LinkedIn. And what we're going to do is, and then I'll tag you and I'll tag me, but I think they're going to start to have like a photo Rolodex of photos that you're tagged in, just like Facebook. I think you're going to see it's more and more like Facebook. You can start to check into businesses and things like that. I think you're going to see LinkedIn is going to look a lot more and more like Facebook, but going to stay very much professional in the content. I think the profile, it's going to be tailored to, obviously, your skills professionally, but I think you'll see some more of the organization, the social network aspecting is going to reflect a little bit more in the direction of Facebook, which I think is a good thing. And therefore you should be treating it as such, and you shouldn't just be creating content and giving good insights, but also documenting kind of what you do professionally. I think it's also important that you put out there so you can stay top of mind, just like people are doing that on Facebook.
Documenting what you're doing professionally. Can you elaborate on that? Like, basically,
I mean, if I see an insight thing in the client, I will do it. If you're working on a project, let's say you're building something physically, whatever, take a picture and post it and say what you've learned. Anything that you're doing, just document, document some of your meetings, just document people you're working with, document things that you've learned with people that you've been with, tag them and post them. And other people see, oh, you're connected to that person too. It will grow your network and people will see you. So they'll be thinking about you. Also, in my opinion, this is my personal opinion, is that I would rather hire someone that's active on LinkedIn, especially if they help promote the brand that they're currently at. They're more likely to hire you because they know, especially within the marketing sphere, that you actually know how to leverage that brand. Unfortunately, a lot of marketers, and I think the more senior you are, unfortunately, the worse you are at marketing. They do not know how to leverage their brand. They do not know how to the company that they're working at. They don't know how to do the proper marketing, how to use their personal marketing, their personal profiles in order to leverage the company that they work at, which is something we make everyone at our company do. Everyone has to post daily, right? That's in the job function. It's like we want to build their brand. We build our employees' brand, they'll be worth money to the company, and we can pay them more. That's what we're looking to do.
So that's what you basically. Can you explain a little bit about what you are doing? How are you advising companies? What are the usual the usual pain or the usual thing they're asking you for? Is that basically to So of course, B2B marketing or
LinkedIn advertising, lead generation, LinkedIn ads, Google ads, SEO, marketing automation, things of the sort. I mean, really anything A to B for marketing, but real lead generation. I mean, I have an understanding of the platform and the insights and the data, especially with the premium features. And from the campaign manager, there's some unique things there that you can see that I have an understanding of since I've been doing this forever. And I'm absolutely passionate about the platform. So for me, it's not just a jobs thing that I understand. Like I can say other things that I do that I need to learn to do, like accounts receivable or whatever, or some certain things we all need to do. You know what I mean? The legal documents and all that. I mean, okay, we all need to do that. That's part of my job as someone who owns the business. But then there are things about my business that I love to do, and that's LinkedIn. I'm absolutely obsessed. I love it. I mean, that's I guess that's what makes me unique.
cool. And what is the usual process like when you say, first of all, when you, lead generation? What do you see as the bigger advantage of leveraging LinkedIn opposed to try that? Because people, of course, they are there. And you can find them, or how do you do it? You basically first you build up the brand. What do you focus most on?
I mean, yeah, well, I lead generation. And then I give free marketing reviews and profile reviews for the marketers, people on the team, and some other free. I give a full free LinkedIn consulting within the ads and lead generation. But that's the goal. Overwhelmingly, it's advertising and lead generation, and however I can help people use the profile, whether it's looking for employment, try to build their network, try to build their connections, help them with posting, helping with their profile. Anything else I can do to help is a real passion of mine. Helping people's a passion. LinkedIn's a passion. The fact that I get to do them together, that's really why my calendar is so full. Is because I spend a lot of time helping and providing value, whether it's podcasts like the Search One calls with other people.
Amazing. So what do you see that compared? Do you see any other platform that's also competing with LinkedIn for the professional market, for the
No, but if we're Quora.com, Quora.com, it's a question and answer platform.
Yeah.
Very professional. They're very high level of professionalism. You need to be a real person and all that, kind of like LinkedIn. But I wouldn't say they compete, but I think they're supplemental.
Okay. When people search for other people, let's say you're a job seeker or you're searching for other people, do you have any good advice for using the search options for finding that right person? Or is it just straightforward? Advanced search, you find out which countries, and is there any...
Let's say it again, I'm sorry.
Using the search function, when you search for people, let's say you're a job seeker and you're looking for hiring manager, whatever industry you are there anything that is just straightforward, or is there any ninja tricks,
I think one of the most underrated things is you should search based on skills. I think skills, and then go and see how many they have endorsements, because it's not your job, you're having that. But if you voluntarily say these are my skills, and I think you're limited to like a few dozen skills, but like if you were to highlight that and a few related skills and they have that, I think that's a great way to narrow it down. So I think skills is a great way. Make sure your skills are up to people are using that for search, so make sure your skills are properly updated on the platform.
And you get as many for the skills you're looking for. Like, so you're a back-end developer, you want to have
back-end developer, and whatever you're doing, C++, but C++, whatever they are. So that when they want to search people based on skills, make sure you got your skills up to date. And when you're searching, I always search. I think skills. I think is probably the most important part when it comes to recruitment.
Cool. How do you let's go off a little bit from LinkedIn. How do you day to day? Do you use other technologies to manage your network, to manage your kind of relationships? Do you use, for instance, I don't know, Trello, Asana, or
Nope. One-on-one, and a calendar maybe to a reminder to follow up, check in, or birthdays for a few people. Okay. But other than that, one-on-one. I have a very good memory.
Okay.
So it's a passion of mine. I don't need to be reminded. Like, this is what I think about when I'm, I wish I thought about it less, to be honest with you. But it's what it occupies my brain and my time.
You don't have like a system to follow up on people. Let's say you haven't been in touch with this person in 3 months, 2 mons, and you...
Well, I have a CRM if it's for business, but if it's just to stay engaged, if I engage with them and they don't engage back, then maybe they're not so interested in engaging, or they don't understand the value of it. In that case, my time is very busy. I don't have the time to follow up with them. But I do have a CRM, of course, that I use for leads. You know what I mean? We use a CRM to follow up and all that. So, I mean, yeah, of course I have a CRM for business, but when it actually comes to just building relationships like you and I are, right? But we don't work together in any capacity. You're not going to be a client or anything like that. We're just here to help and provide value. Obviously, we'll continue to engage with each other, and I know you'll respond. If you were to be a prospect, then I would probably have a reminder in my CRM if I don't hear back from you in a certain amount of time to follow up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it depends if you're a prospect or if you're just looking to network and provide value.
So I'd say if I'm a prospect, that's what I'm thinking about. If I'm a prospect or if I'm an old customer.
Yeah, use a CRM.
Okay.
CRM or put reminders in calendars.
And okay. What do you think about that? The like the birthday reminders and and the reminders from LinkedIn about he has a work anniversary, all these things. Do you think that's
work anniversary is weird for me? I think it's kind of weird. It's cool they do it. They have to be personalized messages. You can say happy birthday or the default congrats on your promotion. You can just say congrats on your promotion at this and that. What your responsibilities are taking on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you managing like there's something like that? Just be a little more than other than so they know, because if you change jobs and you get 30 of these congratulations, if they're all the same, congrats on your promotion, they know it's automated and there's no reason to respond.
Yeah.
But if add a few more words to it, personalize it a little bit, ask how they're doing.
Yeah, it's true. And it becomes a little bit without the context.
Mm-hmm.
Personal. I mean, the whole keyword is being personalized, right? Have the personal touch to it. The last question I want to ask a little bit about the advertising on LinkedIn. I mean, it's known to be a little bit expensive. That's compared to Facebook, of course. What is the argument for using LinkedIn as your main advertising platform compared to Facebook, compared to Instagram? Of course, a different audience also who you want to reach, but what do you think about using the LinkedIn advertising?
I mean, yeah, I think the best way to reach people, LinkedIn is great for job titles and things of the sorts like that. Job titles and professionalism, you can't target people based on where they work, their job title, their experience, their years of experience, and things like that. So if you're looking to target people professionally, that's the way I would do it.
Okay, because on Facebook you have a million options also of targeting people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But because people are not used to expected to get approached professionally on Facebook, that's why it's not a good platform to use compared to LinkedIn?
You can't target the right people.
Okay.
You just can't target them. There's no way to target someone. I mean, if you're a DevOps, you don't have that as a targeting option.
Okay, yes. Okay, so you have interest. Yeah, on Facebook you have interest. So, of course, you have to actually make an interest in DevOps or interest in that.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean anything. I mean, as someone gave the example, if you're, let's say, very pro-Trump, or if you're not a fan of Trump, you're obsessed with him, or you have some strange obsession of hatred of him. Same goes for Obama. So you have an interest in Trump. So it's, you know what I mean? Because you're, it's just not good. You have interest in something it could have formerly been. You know what I mean? Because my brother's a chef, so I like his Facebook page. Do I follow chef and cooking stuff on Facebook? No, but they might advertise me to these interests that aren't related. I'm just following pages because they're my friends, or you know what I mean? So it's not the targeting's a joke when it comes to that.
Okay. Cool. Yoel, I think we've been around it all, man. I think that if there's anyone who needs a LinkedIn expert, I mean, I will definitely recommend you.
I appreciate that, and I like helping. So if you guys have just any free questions, you want a free profile review or brainstorm, hit me up on LinkedIn, message me, and I'd be happy to help. I really do. It is a passion of mine. I do love it.
You want to talk a little bit about, I mean, I know this is Corona time, so, but before that, I remember you did, of course, local events for LinkedIn, local events. Do you do anything else that's like LinkedIn country events, webinars, or?
Well, I go live and I reply to all comments on my LinkedIn lives and Facebook lives. I go once a week. I'm working out a schedule to do the same time every week. So I do lives and I do respond to everything there. So that's where I do now engage with the public in live time. Also on my comments, but I'm not yet doing virtual events. I'm thinking about doing it. I'm talking to someone about doing it, but right now it's not a priority. My priority is to get my video podcast like you have, is getting that up and running, which I'll be asking you about, I think, privately after this, if you don't mind.
Of course. However I can help you, Yoel. That you help a lot of people, you help me, so whatever we can do for you. So
Nothing, man. Just I'm good.
so Yoel Vadi Digital, that's the company.
Wadi Digital, yes. WADI digital.com.
Cool.
Or
How many
just pick me
workers?
up on LinkedIn.
How many employees are
8.
you? 8.
We're 8. Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's big. You grew pretty much the last year, 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Trying not to get too large, to be honest.
Yeah, it's no fun to keep it small without all the
Trying to keep
management.
it. I want a ship that can quickly move. I want to be able to navigate quickly and things like that. You know, the bigger the bigger the tree, the harder the fall. I think a lot of people are learning that during the pandemic.
Exactly. Yoel, thanks a lot for your time. Thanks for
My
joining us.
pleasure, brother. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me on. And if I can help you or anyone else, guys, feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to provide value and give a free LinkedIn profile overview and brainstorm how you can improve.
Cool, man. Thanks, Yoel. Take care. Peace out.
Take care, man. Stay healthy. Bye.
Stay healthy.